Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at travelers who flew Kenya Airways to the motherland and their experience was a complete disaster. Let's take a look.
So this will be the last time I ever fly Kenya Airways. My flight from Sydney to Johannesburg was delayed and I missed my connecting flight. And I spoke to the people at Kenya Airways who told me it'd be cheaper for me to buy another flight rather than for them to rebook it. So I bought another ticket, and then when I went to check in they said, "Where's your return flight?" And I said, "It's here." And they said, "Oh no, that ticket's no longer valid because you missed the first part of the flight. So because I missed my flight, my return flight was invalid." I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So I'd already bought an expensive one-way ticket, and then I had to buy a second expensive one-way ticket. But the real icing on the cake was I was bringing a stroller for baby Kaya, and they said, "Oh, if you don't have a baby, you have to pay to bring the stroller." I'm like, "How much is that?" Like 15-30 minutes later, they're like, "That's $300. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? $300? Keep the stroller. I'm never flying with you again. Kenya Airways, you con artists."
My Kenya Airways review and response to this comment: would you recommend this airline for long flights? I mean, the London to Nairobi flight was great, can't fault them. I think, as I mentioned in my comment section, was their attitude in Nairobi just stinks to the high heavens. They made us miss our connecting flight. The airline made us miss our connecting flight to Zanzibar, from Nairobi to Zanzibar. They're talking about surrender your passports and we'll take you to a hotel. You made us miss our flight. Now you want me to surrender my passport? People are talking about last time you made them miss their flights and you were losing passports at your immigration. You're talking about you're going to put in a safe. Can I see the safe where you're putting my passport? You're not even allowing me to do that. Their attitude just stinks. People are rolling their eyes at you, and this is like the people working at the transfer desk, the customer service, rolling eyes at you. Managers lying, saying that I'm just gonna go and get approval, for A, B, C, D, and then they would disappear, gone home. It's just the customer service on the ground stinks. You can't get hold of the call center to speak to somebody. It's just so difficult. So I wouldn't recommend them just because in the 10 years since I last traveled with them, nothing has changed. They haven't developed a better customer service since then. It just seems like it's getting worse and worse. The aircraft was pretty alright. The cabin crew, they were really lovely and so helpful. Can't fault them. But as an airline in general, as a whole, I just would not recommend, because I want to know that I'm going to get good service. When you call yourselves the pride of Africa, like, that's a big title to give yourself, right? I expect better things from you, but their attitude towards customers, especially when things go wrong, just stinks, and it just has not improved in 10 years. So I would not recommend them. But just as most people do with Ryanair or like Wizz Air, and you travel with them knowing that this is the standard you're going to get, I would travel with an open mind that when things go wrong, you're going to be frustrated most likely, and they're not going to give you the customer service that you would expect from someone who calls themselves the pride of Africa. But I can't fault the food. For my meal, it was pretty decent. The drinks were bountiful, and just the service in the air, great. Service on the ground, personally, they won't be seeing my money ever again.
I'm about to embark on almost a 24-hour journey home from Johannesburg to the UK, and I know what you're thinking. Aren't there direct flights from Johannesburg to UK? Yes, there are. However,
the direct flights cost about £1,000, whereas the route I have taken has cost 360. I'm flying Johannesburg to Nairobi, Nairobi to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Norwich. So then when I get home, I've only got 10 minutes from the airport. So let's go. So I am in Johannesburg airport, but obviously first hiccup, my supposed 1:15 a.m. flight, technically tomorrow morning, I got a message saying it was cancelled. So I was already in Johannesburg, decided to come to the airport, and they have now booked me onto a 5 p.m. flight which gets into Nairobi at about 10:11, and then my flight to Amsterdam is at 9 a.m. the next day. So I have a wonderful overnight stop in Nairobi, an airport notorious for being wonderful. They have given me a lounge pass, but we shall see. So far the marathon journey has now gone from 24 hours to at least 30. Wish me luck. So 6 hours after leaving the hotel, I'm about to start boarding flight number 1 of 3. Well, I've made it as far as the lounge, but they actually won't let me in. So many broken promises. I have been in queues for 3 hours trying to sort it out. I am exhausted, this close to just paying. But my biggest word of advice is never fly with Kenya Airlines. So I did eventually manage to get into the lounge, and I have to say, managed a couple of hours sleep on the floor, but this morning having a shower and unlimited tea was game changing, so thank God I finally got in. 22 hours after leaving the hotel, I am at the boarding gate for flight number 2. Flight number 2 is boarding. Flight 2 nearly done. I'm about 30 hours into this journey now, and I have made it to Amsterdam, and now I just have a 6-hour wait until my final flight back to Norwich. I've been hanging out in Amsterdam airport for 4 hours now, and I have 2 hours left until my final flight, and it's only a 35-minute flight when I get there. I can almost taste the end of this journey. I'm about 36 hours in now. Officially at 36 hours now, despite what I might have said in previous clips, and I am finally about to board my third and final flight to Norwich. So hopefully about an hour until I am home. Let's go! I've made it. Welcome to Norwich Airport. 36 and a half hours. I finally landed in Norwich. Now to get in my taxi and to my bed. I'm home and the kettle is boiling.
So yes, this is the part 2 of my story. So we left the terminal 2F to go to terminal 2E. There was a nice lady there who showed us that they put it wrongly on our boarding pass, and she showed us that we're supposed to be in 2E. So we were rushed through this terminal to go to the other one, and when we reached and we looked for our flight on the screen, it was not there, and it was 3:30, because actually they changed our flight to 24 hours later. They added the 11 hours and 35 minutes of layover. And they changed the departure hour time, because we're supposed to be 10:55. They changed it to 3:30. So we looked at 3:30. We didn't see the 3:30, but the lady told us that we had to go at gate 1 to do the check-in. I mean, not the check-in, but the passport check and leave our luggage. Yeah. So we went at the gate 1, and it was the Kenya Airways. So we checked in the baggages, and I asked the lady if there was a Kenya Airways counter here, because I had to make like a huge complaint. And she told me that there's no Kenya Airways counter here. There's one at Nairobi, at Jomo Kenyatta. And I told her that we were going to be landing at 1 a.m. No one's going to be here. And she had basically nothing. She couldn't help me. So we took our plane. We landed at Nairobi around 1 a.m. And there was no one at the airport. There was just people working in the duty-free shops and some shops around, but nothing. I didn't want really to pay again $40. I was not yet refunded for the $120 for my delayed baggage. So I would not pay again out of my pocket. But after 4 hours on this kind of lounge chairs, you don't lounge. It's horrible. I had to, at some point, I wanted to sleep so bad that I just basically laid on the floor and put my head on my boyfriend's, on my fiance's backpack and slept because I was desperate to sleep. And then I couldn't stand it. I had to sleep. So we went to a lounge and paid again $40 per person just to have some like 2 or 3 hours to sleep. So when we came back, my boyfriend told me that the flight was going to be delayed again by 30 minutes. So we were going to go at 1 p.m. instead of 12:30. At this point, I was just enraged and really, I just couldn't. But I was so tired. I couldn't function. I was just tired. I just wanted to go home. I mean, at this point, I could have went to a Kenya Airways counter and just the fury of gods, really put it out there and just a scandal at the airport. But I couldn't function. I was famished. I was thirsty. I didn't feel well. I had an upset stomach. I just wanted to go home. And I had to ask for an extra day at work as well. It was not planned, but I had to. And just as I received the message that it was going to be delayed by 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes later, he received a WhatsApp message telling that the flight is boarding. He went at the gate. It was not. He came back. He said, I don't know why they sent me this. And then maybe 1 hour later, he saw at the gate that they were opening it. Like they were checking the passport and the boarding pass and stuff and such. And I was like, they didn't even call. What's going on? And then he made us wait nearly 2 hours near the boarding gate because our plane arrived. People were coming out. It's the same plane doing the to and from. So they had to clean and, everything they have to do in the airplanes before it just take off and put, fuel in the thing. And that was it. We boarded our flight and arrived in Mauritius on Sunday at 6 p.m. instead of Saturday at 3 a.m. And we traveled nearly 12 hours. It was horrible. It was the worst service ever. I never had such a bad service in my life. Kenya Airways is supposed to be the pride of Africa. That's what they're selling to us. But I think that they have no consideration for people. We are just numbers to them. They just see cash when they see us. I'm very unhappy. I went in my country. There's a Kenya Airways counter, but they only sell tickets to people. They don't do after service. That's a shame. I think that if you have a counter there, you should be able to help Mauritian citizens as well. But she was unable to help me. So yes, that's where I'm at actually. I keep on sending reminders for the refund. No one's getting back to me. I had to go on another website who's going to contact Kenya Airways I understood that there's a $600 compensation for long delays and such. I went for this site. It's called refund something. But Kenya Airways is just not replying to my message. I even left a Facebook comment, and I was nearly scammed because when I left the Facebook comment, A lot of people replied on it saying that their customer service for Kenya Airways, and they were asking me for my card details, and then basically it was scammers. And I mean, even on their Facebook page and Instagram, they don't even control the security. This is, I don't even have the words. I mean, no one's from the company is contacting me at the moment. I have tried all the ways to contact them. I'm in my country. I can't just go there and just demand stuff. I only have emails. The WhatsApp is rubbish. It's just a chat bot, so there's not a real human just talking to me at the other end. I can't just call them I just can't call them anytime. I mean, it costs money to call overseas, so I can only send emails, and I mean, this is unacceptable to treat people like this. We're all humans, and many people have. So you can't just treat people like that, like I was saying, and I don't have any resort that's sending messages on social media and doing basically videos like this just to catch your attention, and hopefully you will do something about it. I see that you're very active on social media, that you have a very active TikTok account as well. So I just hope that it's going to wake you up and do something about your really horrible service. I really have no other words. I mean, there's nothing good about anything. I mean, even on the flight, we were so hot. It was so uncomfortable. I mean, your flight attendants are really sweet, but overall, I just couldn't get over the bad service that I had from your customer service. No one's getting back to me. No one's caring about the fact that we waited 11 hours in an airport, and in the middle of the night, there's nothing. We can't just go outside and wander and discover I don't know. I mean, just wandering around. We are in the airport. We're waiting here because at any point in time, they can just call us and the flight's boarding, or I mean, you're living your life on edge when you're waiting at an airport at Nairobi. So yeah, I mean, this is a shame. Really, you should be ashamed.
Many bad things were said about them, how they switch, how they don't show up, how they cancel flights. And I always took Qatar, but I've been to Kenya 3 times. I never taken Kenya Airways, and y'all were right. Absolutely right. Switched my business class ticket without telling me at the gate. So when it's time to board for business class, myself and Mark, we go up because we business class. No, your economy. Just like that. Just like that. No explanation, no anything till we try to board. This is so heinous. The practice, the deceptionists, they took my money.